Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. So just a reminder, in astrology, the planets don't make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, it's reflected by way of aspects and angles in a chart. The planets only really mirror your choices. It's a symbiotic kind of relationship with the reality that you're creating. You're a sentient, celestial, eternal being. That's it. That's the gig. So we're going to be talking about, we're in the shadow phase of Mercury in retrograde, and what it represents and what you can use it for, because yeah, you are powerful. You are so powerful. Hi, Ricard. Not only are you on time, but you're early. Oh, we have mystical magic. I love it, Latanja. Okay, so Mercury in retrograde. Let's just talk briefly about. I have. Let me share my screen just to show you. I forgot to set that up. Sorry. Window. La la. Here we go. Okay. So I went all the way to October 2nd. Let me just come back here and then go to here's where we are today, August 25th, 2022. If you're watching this in a replay on Facebook, on YouTube, the information about retrogrades will apply. It's evergreen. But this is about this specific upcoming September 9th Mercury in retrograde. We're in the pre-shadow phase right now. So, and that's when it looks like Mercury is moving backwards from us, but on the elliptical in the universe around the sun, we are, okay, let me start over. We're just like passing by. Hi, bye, Mercury. So it looks like Mercury's moving backwards from the perspective of Earth, but it's not moving backwards. Okay, did you get that? Yeah. I'll explain it again. But anyway, that's what this looks like today. We are having a trine between, and I talked about this last week, to make use of this energy that you are creating. You are creating this. I'm looking at the world right here. When I look at a chart, I look at the world, or I look at a person's perspective and their choices. So you are creating something right now. And it almost feels like, I have an idea. I think I want to do this. Or I have an idea. I want to stop doing that. Or I have this idea. I want to completely overhaul something in my world, something in my backyard. The septic people are coming and they've dug a big hole. And it looks like that we have a small saucer, flying saucer. Looks like we have a small UFO in our backyard. Everything's dug up. So they're going to be coming soon and working on that. So there might be noise. Apologies. So there's a profound awakening happening within you. I am studying neuroscience and in conjunction with neurobiology, how the brain creates the vibration, how to remove old synaptic fusing between neurons so that I don't go backwards anymore. That's what I'm doing now. And as you do this thing, you have this idea, you want to make this, or something comes to you and it's profound, it's out of the blue because Pluto is involved there. Pluto in the trine. And you didn't know that it was coming. And now you're thinking about it. Oh, I just got an offer. I got a job offer, or I just got laid off, or what is that thing? The doctor said I have this thing in my arm and they need to take more x-rays. Okay, wherever you're going with this, fear ought not be in the mix. Okay, so now in steps Mercury in retrograde. First, on September 9th, Mercury enters retrograde motion at, I had to write this down because my brain was addled with so many numbers this morning, 8 degrees, 55 minutes of Libra. So wherever 8 degrees, 55 minutes of Libra is in your chart, in your natal chart, these are the topics that you can expect your mind to review, renegotiate, renew, or release. Okay? It's that simple. So what are you going to be going over and over in your head about? What are you going to be processing? Well, by the time we get to September 23rd, Mercury will then retrograde back technologically. That's not a thing. My brain is already retrograde. Technically, it is going to be astrologically moving back to 29 degrees of Virgo, 59 minutes. And that is on September 23rd. So between September 9th, you can start now, August 25th. So you can start now, August 25th through September 9th, and then again through September 23rd, early in the morning. Mercury is retrograde in Libra. And it's going to be moving at different degrees, right? But it starts at 8 degrees Libra, 55 minutes. And when it does this thing, it does its thing because it's reflecting your thing. How is that possible, Elaine, that one planetary retrograde stations retrograde and then everybody on the earth is, going through something? Is it the same thing? No, of course not. We're individual beings. You are a sentient, celestial, eternal being. And the thoughts that you started thinking when you were a child based on your environment, based on your interaction with the world, created mental patterns and synapses. That is science. And so anytime there's a loud noise, you might have a thing. Oh my God, it's like dad's blowing up again and smashing glass. Or anytime there's a worry in your family, or you get a bill in the mail and you think, I can't pay this. I remember, you may not consciously be remembering these things, but unconsciously where you're going is back to the original pattern that set up the fear, the worry, the procrastination, all of it, the insecurity. And so you will still be firing the same synaptic circuits that were wired when you were a child. So there's no guilt and there's no blame. There's programming. That's what it is. And I'd like to interrupt this program to bring you a special announcement from the universe. You have the power to alter thought in order to create matter. So what's the matter? You. You are the matter. And your matter is creating matter. So the inside is what makes your outside. Now that's hard to fathom sometimes when you're being taught and told by the world repeatedly, turn off the news, stop listening to the negativity, and then you can hear your own chatter and your own negative chatter that says, I'm not enough, it's not going to happen, I don't know enough, it's not time. Now there is a timing to things. So, but during that space where you're saying, I want that job, and then you go for the interview and then you're waiting for the call back. And in the meantime, you're going through a whole array of thoughts that have nothing to do with your truth. But yet you will create chemicals, because the brain doesn't know what's real or imagined, but you will create chemicals in your body that reflect, I never got the job. They didn't call me. I didn't get the job. And some friend or relative says, well, give them a chance. They're probably interviewing like 40,000 people. Yeah, well, there you go. I don't have the right qualification. And so then you start to pre-frame your future with past failures. Enter the retrograde and what it is symbolic of. Let me just get rid of this for just a moment because it's distracting me. I have enough distractions today with the backyard being dug up and blah, blah. Hey, Jennifer's here too. So if you're watching this now or in a replay, what applies is the fact that you have power. And if you give your power, and this isn't just like self-help talk, this is actual science, okay? If you give your power to a thought or a vibration, and you just picture, I don't have the image of it, but a neuron in your brain looks like, let's pretend it looks like a hand, and it's got these little tentacles that come off of it. And it moves and looks for things of the same type of electrical output. So if you've had trauma over, maybe fell and you hurt your leg, and you've got some kind of trauma over that. And I tell this story to friends, family, clients. It's like, it's raining. You go outside, you walk, you slip, you fall, you get hurt. The very next time it's raining, some part of you, unless you're consciously reprogramming yourself, it's got to be conscious. But the next part of you is like, I'll just wait. Maybe it'll stop raining soon, because the underlying fear is I'm going to slip and fall and hurt myself. And so that's how we set up this network of neurons in our brain that says, danger, you're going to get hurt just like the last time. You're in a relationship, everything's going along great, you think it's wonderful, and then suddenly they say or do something, and it's like, why would they do that or say that? And you're hurt. Now, you make the choice to stay or go, or communicate or not. But whatever choices you make create the next moment in time in your world. And so what's exciting to me about astrology and how I like to use it now, because I used to be a big believer when I first started long ago, and I started learning about astrology when I was 11. And so I learned from my aunt and books and the people around me and what I read. And at the time, it was a belief that the planets are doing something to you. Well, we are upgrading our wiring system, our programming. You have to clean up your computer, right? You have to give it new, if you want a new application, you have to upgrade the system. Well, it's time to upgrade your system every day, not just when Mercury in retrograde comes, but it's every day you're upgrading your system. Do I choose to believe what that person just said to me? Well, I look at and this is kind of funny, because my husband was laid off from the first job he ever had just a couple of weeks ago. My husband's been an entrepreneur all of his life since he was 7, and he was selling greeting cards. He was a born entrepreneur. And then he got a job, and that job was 3 years ago. And it was in marketing, and he loved it. And it was all the right, and he learned a lot, and he loved the community, and it was all virtual. And then he just got laid off, and he asked for the reason, because he got nothing but praise. And the reason was, well, we're just moving in a new direction. Red flag. We're moving in a new direction. But Dean wasn't upset about it. He just wanted to press for the answer. He wanted the truth, because he had no doubt in his abilities. It wasn't about his reputation. It wasn't about money for him, but it was for them. And the guy that he spoke to said, the one who they call him the hatchet man, who gently fired, we're just going to let you go, and could not make eye contact in the Zoom, because these people are all over the country. And so Dean said, well, I'm just curious, I kept coming back to, but I'm just wondering why, if my, performance is, you say my performance is fantastic. Well, it's a matter of style. It's a matter of style. And Dean said, well, what does that mean? I don't understand. It's a matter of style. I write in the voice of the boss, or I write in the voice of the affiliate. What is, I don't understand. And the guy could not be honest with him. And basically, they just wanted to save money, because Dean had found out ahead of time that they were hiring newbies for a fraction of the cost. So the dishonesty was so evident and prevalent, but he wasn't upset. My husband was not upset. And he was like, okay, he took like 3 days to press for the truth, didn't get it. And I said, honey, you've done your best. And they just don't want to tell you, because you have a claim to sue if they say, well, you're too old, or, we just don't want to pay you what we've been paying you, and which he totally deserves, and more. So that, there was like, where are you going to go with that? When somebody has a belief system that you are not worthy of something, or that they just want to go in a different direction because they don't want to pay you and they don't want to tell you the truth, where do you go with that? You go nowhere. You go on your own. You go somewhere else. Okay, so the guys have arrived, and they're right outside my window. So if you hear like a lot of talking and banging and digging and whatever, that's what's happening. This is what's happening. That's all you want to say. Say, this is what's happening. And then always reset to, I am a celestial, eternal, powerful, pure conscious love being. I am an extension of the light. I exist here, now, everywhere. What do I want to do with that? How can I create something amazing? Well, go by vibration, go by what feels great. That feels great to me. All right. Then we get a little practical and say, well, maybe I don't have enough money to invest in that thing that I want to buy. But in the meantime, as I stay positive or I stay neutral to positive, as I've been saying for many, many years, stay neutral to positive with thoughts or things or feelings or projects or endeavors that help you to feel supported, nurtured, loved, expansive, abundant. Now, you're going to step into a black hole every once in a while, and you're going to want to blame it on a person, a thing, a situation, the government, the weather, whatever. Okay, set your timer, do your kitchen timer, and just go 5 minutes. And they said, and just get it out of your system. Because the more you feed that vibration, the more you create new neurons that say, not going to get it. It's not going to happen. I'm not enough. And it harkens back to the past. And now let's look at that astrologically. And then you keep recreating the same pattern over and over again. So you might make small steps forward, 50 steps back, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. So eventually it's going to be catching it in the moment where you're washing the dishes, you're eating breakfast, you're taking a shower, you're taking a walk, whatever, your food shop, whatever, you're doing something. And then you actually witness, this is what Mercury in retrograde is perfect for as it relates to you going inward, because retrograde is Latin and it means to step back. So as you go inward, and go, I just caught myself thinking something nasty about that person that, I knew years ago. Why is my brain doing that? Why am I going there? Well, if you don't give it a conscious thought, you're going to revert to any thought that exists because, my friends, listen carefully. Everything that's ever been thought, felt, done, that vibration is out there. So if everything is a wave, and that is the quantum field, that is the consciousness that you are. And remember, I've said this before. Oh, I don't have my little gadget plugged in. But everything is a wave, but every thought is a particle. So when you think in thoughts that don't support you, you got a lot of little like pinpoints on a map. And it's like, where does that map take you? Back in circles. So if you can stop and pull out and go, you know what? I just feel a little down right now. That's how I feel. So then in those moments, do something that is supportive. Do something that is nurturing. Do something that is practical, but not harmful. As in, I just found out that so-and-so was in a car accident. I'm really sad about it. Okay, that's totally normal, right? Well, if there's something that you can do to make you feel better and to help that situation, offer. Is there anything I can do? You email, you call, a text, is there anything I can do to help? And if there isn't, and they say, no, thank you, then switch your brain and put beautiful, happy, celestial vibes toward that person. It's up to them to take it. You cannot heal anyone but yourself. And so then you might still feel sad or down or upset about it. It's totally natural. Now go do something simple, and something that does not create anger, frustration, resistance, or conflict in you. Because the hard wiring is that person just had this experience and it makes me sad, but deep down, it reminds me of when Pop passed away, or, my grandmother was mistreated and she had to, go and get surgery and then the doctors botched it. So whatever is going on now is going to trigger what happened then, consciously or unconsciously. That's just the way the mind and the brain works. So what you want to do, especially with the upcoming retrograde, hey, Teresa's here, sending love and light, and I feel it. Thank you. I'm taking a shower in it. It reminds me of when our kid was 3 years old. They're 23 now. But when they were 3 years old, I taught them that game, hot and cold. You know that game you play with a kid, or used to play when you were little, and it was you hide something, under the couch or in a drawer, and it's like, let's just section off one room, and I've got those plastic eggs that you open up, and I would put like a little vitamin chewy treat in there or a little toy or something. And I go, okay, we're going to play the hot and cold game. And I remember hiding it under the seat cushion in the living room, in the big reading chair. And so our kid was looking around, and I would go, oh, you're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. Oh boy, you're hot now. You're just about on it, or they move away and it's like, oh, you're getting cooler. It's getting cold now. Yeah, it's freezing. So when it was my kid's turn to tell me how to, they hid something, and I was walking toward the chair and they said, no, it's too cold. It's really cold. You're going to need gloves now. I just started laughing at how they associated the language with the visual of what to do in their experience. Like, was when it's cold, you put gloves on when you're going outside. And then I moved in a different direction and I'm walking toward someplace else. And then my kid starts to say, oh, you're getting really warm now. You're sweating, Mom. And then I must have been right on it, right? Because then my kid said, you're hot. You're so hot. You're taking a shower. They screamed at me. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. And of course, I found the treat and yay, it was so funny. But, when your brain is hardwired to know and feel something and understand and recognize something, it then translates it and then creates the future. And that's why you repeat patterns. It's that simple. So in order to break that pattern, ta-da, here comes Mercury in retrograde. Not that the planet's doing it to you, but that you have an opportunity now, because the focus is not, if you were sightseeing, let's say you're sitting on a beautiful ledge and you're looking up at the sky and you can actually see Mercury and it's right there moving along with the earth. And you're like, there's Mercury. And I'm thinking about it and I'm conscious about it. And I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to work through it. And I'm going to be present with it. And then suddenly, because we're on the ecliptic around the sun, the earth looks like it's moving faster, which means that Mercury looks like it's moving slower, even though Mercury is closer to the sun than we are. How does that work? It addles the brain sometimes. So then you're in your balcony seat and you're looking up at the sky and you see Mercury and you're like, wait, where are you going, Mercury? Wait. Well, that reminds me of that time. Oh my goodness, that reminds me of that thing. Oh, now I have this bad feeling. And is that feeling intuition or is that feeling just the memory replaying itself? And so that experience, your perception, is what's highlighted now. So does that make sense? Okay. So during your perception, now let's move this to when Mercury goes retrograde. There it is. Ta-da, September 9th. Mercury will enter retrograde 8 degrees Libra, 55 minutes. Wherever that is in your chart, expect to look at, through the lens of astrology, those topics wherever that planet is transiting. Does that make sense? So wherever Mercury is 8 degrees all the way up, ending to 24 degrees Virgo, from 8 degrees Libra to 24 degrees Virgo. In that section is where you will have the most realization or the most opportunity, should you choose to accept it, Mr. Phelps, is to take that moment and rewire the hardwire and download a new program. And then be conscious of, oh my gosh, I just realized that when I said hello to that person, their body got stiff and they were like, it was like a fake hello back. And then you're going to process the whole thing that people do. It's like, did I say something? Did I do something? Did I not say something? Did I not do something? Why are they so stiff with me? Wait a minute. If I think about it, they were never really comfortable. And I've seen that way with other people. It's not me. It's not me. But if you do think it's you, then check yourself. When's the last time I felt that way with this person? Have I said or done? I might have said or done something. Deep down, you're going to know the truth. And it's like, oh, I remember that family picnic they were having, and I just kind of invited myself. They probably don't want to say anything to me because they're a neighbor, and I think I know what it is. Okay. So whatever it is, it was. It's not is now. You get that? Whatever happened, happened. It is not is now. But that feeling in you is, I've done that. So now I'm going to be more aware of putting my face in somebody else's space uninvited. That's all. It's that simple. Or if someone did that to you and you want to be polite and kind and go and not invite them into your world, but you don't want to be rude, you're aware of it now. You understand how the thought and the feeling correlate and they come together. And so when we're looking at this, we have Mars is trining Mercury on September 9th. And let's move this forward in time and I'll show you. Window speed. And we're going to go slowly. Okay, so there is Mercury in Libra, and it is trining. You know what? Okay, I'll just leave it like that. So here we're moving in time. I love this program. Now it's still trining, and the sun is squaring, and so Mercury is still trining Mars, and it's already September 16th, 17th. It's still trining. Oh, wait, then it stopped, right? Now it's no longer trining through the 17th, after the 17th. So between now and September 17th, Mercury will be trining Mars, which tells me that you're going to be thinking thoughts that want to promote action. So you might be thinking, it doesn't feel like the right time to express myself to this person or to apply for this job, or because there's going to be a lot of inward perception. Okay. So inward perception is your intuition, knowing that there is timing for something. There is. And there's a proper timing for things. Does that make sense to you so far? Because when Mars comes into the picture, let's just go backwards in time a little bit. And there it is. So we see it moved around. I'm sorry. It just jumps because that's the way the program works. But Mercury in Libra is trining Mars in Gemini. These are thoughtful places. These are, I wonder if I did this, what would happen? You know what? Before I do anything, I'm going to research it. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to put my feelers out. Somebody said to me, oh, yeah, they're looking for, a person who has your skills and talents over at that place. Really? Oh, and you might get a feeling about it. Like, oh, I know those people. I don't think I want to work with those people. Okay. So you're ruminating, you're processing, you're feeling it through. And then you ask yourself, well, why don't I want to work for those people? Because I have seen them outright lie to their clients. Oh, then you're not going to take action there. But if things are incongruous, they're not congruent, and you see people being really polite and kind and nice, but yet something in you says, no, I don't want to be with those people. What's the perception? Well, is it your intuition or is it your fear talking? And this is the thing I want you to become aware of. What is speaking? Which part of you is speaking? Because the past is going to come up. And you might say, that person, you finally realize, oh my gosh, I know what it is. That person reminds me of someone I used to know and work for. Oh, and they weren't very kind to me at all. It's not about them. Let me give these people a chance. They're looking for someone with my skills. I'll put my hat in the ring. What's the worst that could happen? Don't think that. Think, what's the most that can happen? Maybe I get the job. Maybe I get the job and I work for them for 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 years, and then I've outgrown them and then I leave, whatever. That's life in action, in process. But I want you to become ever so aware of the times that you are with people talking and something is nagging at you. Okay, let me just get back over here. Because your intuition is going to be guiding you. It's your inner guidance system is going to be guiding you to, and that's your higher inner being. That is your higher self. That is the extension. That is the light. That is divine. That is the supreme cosmic you is going to vibe something. And if you're over here going, yeah, I want that job because it offers a lot of money or potential future growth. And over here is your truth, and it doesn't vibe the same. You're going to feel discord. You're going to feel a resonance that does not feel good. And you're going to think, is it me? Did I say something? Because that's the first place we go, is our thoughts. Let me check myself. Or to judgment, which represents Mercury, Virgo, Gemini. And we've got Mercury in Virgo coming up on September 23rd. So you're going to get a lot clearer on your thoughts. First, it's going to be, how does it feel? What am I doing? Libra, Mercury in Libra retrograde. Where's the harmony? Where's the disharmony? And then when we hit September 23rd through October 2nd, it's going to be Mercury retrograde in Virgo. That doesn't feel right to me. That's not my truth. But if you go to the place of judgment, well, they did this or they did that. And that's because, it's easy for them, isn't it? They were handed, a packet of money from Uncle Jim. That's not my situation. So the moment you go toward a judgment, which is a negative, not an evaluation, but a judgment, is the moment you stop yourself from getting all those happy things that you deserve. Because you put your vibe in resonance with disharmony. Does that make sense? If you're listening to this and it is no longer retrograde, Mercury retrograde, know that this is evergreen information. And I want you to become aware of how you are processing your feelings and thoughts based on old experiences, because that's the hardwire. You come here free. You are born from total consciousness into an itty bitty living space. Thank you, Aladdin. And the genie. And you are examining your environment, and you say, well, because it's that out there, I'm this in here. And so then eventually you allow your environment to dictate terms. And that includes people, places, things, objects, occurrences, the news. You could sit in your chair, never leave your house. You will watch TV. Whatever reality you are tuned into, whatever channel you are channeling, it's going to feel worse and worse if it's not about your truth. So it's very simple. And that is, during this entire retrograde period in Mercury, I want you to just become aware of the moment you go from happy to sad, where you go from contented to judgmental. Fine tune that, put a narrow focus on it, put a spotlight on it, a flashlight, and go, what just happened to me? Because some part of your old wiring needs rewiring, and you need to upgrade your system so that you can go to the next place and create conscious matter that relates to who you are and why you've come. And you've come to experience life on this earth, in this body. You didn't come here to save people. You didn't come here to rule the world. You didn't come here to do anything except experience what you choose to experience. And that's the most non-judgmental way to say that, right? Because people sometimes will polarize left or right, and they'll say, no, I'm going to make it my mission. I'm going to make it my mission. In fact, someone did a reading for me and told me that my purpose was to make it my mission. You might have a predilection toward a language, a continent, a way that you might want to look, the talents that you have accumulated over lifetimes. Where I love to write. I love it when it rains. I feel creative when it's raining. I feel creative when it's cooler weather and it's raining, not when it's tropical weather. I remember. So I know that I have these memories that inspire me. So whatever inspires me, I move toward. But I just remember listening to this motivational binaural beat thing for my head brainwaves. And it was overlaid with a soundtrack of a tropical rainforest. So you hear like birds calling it and I put it on at first and I'm lying down going, oh, this is beautiful. You hear like, like you hear stuff in the jungle. Then you hear the patter of rain on you could imagine big fat leaves and the patter of rain. And then it started to really downpour and it started to rain and you hear these jungle sounds, or I was hearing these jungle sounds. And suddenly I started to get really warm. Like I am not comfortable. I do not want to be in this jungle because the next thing that's going to happen is a mosquito. I'm going to manifest a mosquito and they're going to bite the heck out of me. So I thought, no, I'm done. So I found another one and I actually created one. And it was more of a winter storm sounding or autumn sounding, and it was cooler. And I just, so I trained myself to listen to something and it brought up my past. So I find that fascinating. That's part of the discovery of you. So does that make sense, folks? Does this help? Thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe. I can't even speak anymore. Okay. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, but I want to make sure that you understand what I'm talking about. And I'll show it to you one more time so that by the time I get to Phoenix, I'm going to go back to Oh, and also we're still in the, get your power up session, folks, because it ends on September 1st. You can purchase the reading. Let me just put it in here. You can get your 40-minute reading with me to power up this month so that you can promote all of these things. And I'm going to show you how in the session, how to actually alter your thoughts based on who you are specifically, not just the general, what I'm talking about today, but how to do that in a timely way so that you can start to really see physical, actual manifested changes in your world. That's about you powering up. Let's see if this takes it. There it is. And it's up to you, really. 40 minutes with me. And we're going to go deep dive into the one issue, or it could be two. You can talk about anything you want, but whatever you're talking about, it's all going to correlate to how your brain works and what it is you're focused on right now and how we can switch that focus so that you can actually see positive results. Hooray. Yay. So one more time, here we are, wrong side. One more time, we have Mercury going retrograde in Libra starting at, wait a minute, that didn't work. Where is it? Reset. Got to reset it. Mercury goes retrograde on September 9th. And it will be at 8 degrees, 55 minutes of Libra. And then on October 2nd, it will end up being, what is it again? 24 degrees, 11 minutes of Virgo. So between 8 degrees and 24, 8 degrees Libra, 24 Virgo, we're going to see what the focus is for your chart. But while it starts now and it's opposite Jupiter, it is, are you sure you believe that? Jupiter in Aries has this persona of saying, yeah, there's no rental car agencies within 5 miles. I've checked. Oh, okay. Really? I don't know. That doesn't feel right to me. I'm going to check. And then I find 2 others that are 6 blocks away. So sometimes the Jupiter in Aries is excited and jumps in and dives in right away, wants to become obsessive about something, but it's also retrograde. So it's examining itself. You're examining your ideas and perceptions of, do I believe it? Why don't I believe it? Well, I used to believe it. Why don't I believe it now? And so in the interim, when things are changing and moving, sometimes we feel insecure because the thing that we held tight to, it's not real anymore. And so we start to let go of that vibe, that energy, those thoughts, those feelings. And then what goes with it are people, places, things, because you're not vibing the same thing. So that's going to be very key. But remember, as Mercury is trining Mars, what that represents in your world is going to be different for everyone. But in the overall general sense, it's going to mean you're going to want to take action to right the wrong. You're going to want to take action to change the thing right away, to sign up for something right away. But I want you to research. Do your research and then really vibe it, because if it's feeling like, yes, harmony, great. If it's feeling like absolute dissonance, question yourself. Is it because that's my truth and they are not vibing my truth? Then you walk away. Is it because what they're doing prods my old belief system, which no longer supports me, and I'm scared to make a change. I don't know. Let me meditate on it. Oh, key clue. Meditate, 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 meditate. All right, folks, I hope this has helped you. And thank you for being here. And I will be back on the 1st of September. And we're going to talk more about the Mercury retrograde and bring your thoughts, your questions, anything that you might be wondering about how the retrograde might work in your world or in your chart. Okay, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for being. I so appreciate you. We'll talk soon. Come back.